everyone. So, last I left off, I was going to start piping some oil over to the plastic production area. So, I've got, looks like 2 sources of normal quality crude oil. And maybe 1 more? Probably not. Nope, that's impure. We don't deal with impure sources here. Alright. Let me make sure. I check my other screens for a moment, make sure I got looking at the Twitch channel and whatnot. Okay. So, need an oil extractor. Oh, my phone's buzzing. Phone, why you buzzing? Oh. AJ's trying to join me. Hold on. I'm gonna send a message. Okay. Gotta go get more cables and probably stock up on copper sheets while I'm over by the other factories. That's my eventual mega factory over there. It's really just sourced out for the raw resources at the moment. Just deuterium, iron, copper, all that stuff. I don't think I've done this steel yet, which is probably going to be another hurdle to overcome when I eventually get back over there and start working on it. But I need aluminum before I can do anything else over there. Okay. So cables are going to be they'll be at this factory over here, and so will copper sheets. So this factory has most everything. Pretty much the only thing this factory doesn't have is modular frames and smart plates. Right, gotta go down a floor or two. Oh, maybe a little too much. Here we go, and over the wall. Down in here. And here we go. Oh, dang, I'm going through cables kind of quickly. Wonder where I'm using them all at. Copper sheets. Definitely gonna need a bunch of those bad boys. Think I'll probably stock up on iron bars and plates while I'm here. Because when you're making, let's see. If I look at my logistics, pipeline support requires concrete and plates. So I'll just stock up on plates. That way, when I eventually go to start making a super long pipeline, I'm not going to run out. What about pumps? Pumps are rotors. That might be a problem. I'll stock up on some rotors too. And that should be easy at least. Let's get 1 stack of them, that should be enough. We making plates over here? We are making plates over here. some plates. And we're off to the races. Okay. And go all the way back to where that oil was. One of these days, maybe I'll invest in putting hyper tubes down between all of the places I gotta go. Only thing is that if you do a normal hyper tube, the speed you travel kind of sucks. You have to do a glitch of sorts where you make the hyper tubes spin in a circle real fast until you eventually kind of get launched, and then you'll be moving at some real speeds. But in general, it's easier just to make a vehicle or to build a conveyor belt and launch yourself in the direction you like to go, like I've done previously. Okay. Oil time. Let's grab. Alright, good time to get a big sip of coffee. My coffee lately, I've been I've been doing just milk for a while. I got half and half at one point. I did just half and half. So, not very sweet, obviously. What are the... Oh, I'm probably going to want to get more power cores. Let's see. Yep, at least we need 4 more power cores. But yeah, I've been having my coffee unsweetened just to try to reduce sugar and all that. But I got some... I don't have one, right? No, I do have one. What am I doing? I don't need an object scanner. I have an object scanner. I got coffee creamer recently, but I found out that a lot of coffee creamers in stores don't have any actual like dairy cream in them, and that blew my mind. Like, the people I've talked to don't seem to care all that much, but I thought it was absolutely insane looking at like every bottle of coffee creamer on the shelves and just seeing vegetable oil and just all these things that are just not dairy. And that's the majority of the coffee creamers. I thought that was insanity, but apparently I was the only one. However, there's the Chobani coffee creamers are the only ones on the shelves that use real ingredients. And looking at their label is just like looking at a reality that's a little more sane than ours, where it's the ingredients are just like cream, sugar, sea salt. I think there's like a total of 4 ingredients. I got that in my coffee today. And now my coffee's delicious and not full of junk oils and things. And if you're not aware of what necessarily makes things like vegetable oils and other seed oils bad for you, in general, the idea is that they'd really only be bad for you in very large amounts. But the problem is that they're in practically everything these days. So it's not that hard to just consume a large amount of them accidentally. So while it might not necessarily be bad to have a vegetable oil or seed oil coffee creamer, if that was the only product that had such ingredients in it, the fact is these oils are everywhere. But also, like, even besides the health thing, it's called coffee creamer, and it just seems like it shouldn't be allowed to be called that if it doesn't have any dairy in it. It's false advertising. But that's just me. Just me and that thing I blew up. I think you can see I've killed that spitter before. I just left his remains there the last time. Okay. That's 3 slugs. Okay, so I just need to find one more slug. Honestly, I'd probably have a lot more power cores if I picked up a slug every time I saw one. I tend to just ignore them because they're so easy to find. Gotta go up for this slug? Yeah. Well, I know what to do when something's really tall. Just start slapping down foundations. Going up. Cool, cool. I find it interesting how easy it is to navigate tall things in this game, because you unlock foundations. It's like the very first or maybe the second milestone you can get. So you can reach these high places, and I think the game knows that too, because you find a lot of blue slugs in high places, like places that are just high without any other dangers associated with them. This isn't a slug, this is a Mercer sphere. Yeah, good find either. Oop. It's talking. Still don't know what it's saying, but it is talking. Is the slug not up here? Oh, it had to be up here. Maybe it's on the other side? Oh, there it is. I see it down there. Surprised that one I found earlier was only blue, since it was in a rock that I had to blast open. I've definitely seen purple slugs in blastable boulders before, so I thought they'd all be that way, but I guess not. Alright, got me my power slugs. Now I can make sure that my oil extractors are pumping that stuff at maximum capacity, which will improve my yields by quite a lot. And I'm just gonna leave that big tower of foundations up where I found it. Craft a bench. And power shards. Oh. Trying to drink my coffee and craft power shards at the same time. There we go. Mmm, tasty. God, I love good coffee. I mean, one might argue I love good coffee creamer, but that's neither here nor there. Coffee's coffee. Alright. Put some shards in these bad boys, run some power to them, and then the easy part will be done, and we just got to pipe it and get it all the way over to the plastic production. Power line. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Let's see, roughly how far do we gotta go? I am over here. The plastics way over that way. Okay. So I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create some stackable pipelines and try to do this smart like. Use my middle mouse button to do the thing where I can easily just switch between when I'm building. Ooh, that looks a little ugly. Boy, you know what? I'm going to ignore that. Okay, maybe some foundations here. Foundation. Rotate. I gotta put this on zoop. Oh, no, I gotta put it on vertical. Okay. Then we'll do a stackable pipeline support right there. And that should let us, yeah, go down just a little bit. And then we'll go back to the support. Okay. We're gonna be doing this. And it's gonna look awesome. It will not be messy, like most of my pipes. Main thing is like, one, getting it there, but then once I get it there, like making everything fit in visually with Ryan's setup there. I think that's going to be my biggest thing is trying to do this in such a way where it's not obvious that I did work on Ryan's factory, because we have two very different styles, if one can believe it. I know that would be obvious if you've watched Slapdash Factory 1, but the thing is I didn't know that Twitch does not save videos forever. I saw that it saved Slapdash Factory 1 to the page of my channel when I went and recorded it, and I thought, that's good. That's fine. And then I found out just recently that it gets deleted after like 2 weeks. So Slapdash Factory 2 is the only one, is like the most recent one you can find, or the earliest one you can find. Which is a shame, because I thought I did really good on Slapdash Factory 1. But it's whatever. How far is this guy going to chase me? Like, I'm pretty much ignoring him because I don't care. But, like, how long is he going to go? Well, I mean, he's close to killing me now. He's still over there. I can see him. Alright, dude. I get it. Chill out. Whoa, fuck. I didn't know you could run up here. Nothing a little bit of a lot of explosive work can't fix. I even destroyed the tree this slug was on. Cool. Now the creature's dead, and I have a slug. These creatures would survive a lot more if they could just leave me to my work. think I saw a glimpse of it over there. Oh, still can't quite see it. Got quite the distance to go yet. Let's see, how close am I? Not really all that close. I guess I'm about halfway from the place I started, which isn't bad time, all considering. Hasn't even been like a minute. I'm just hoping I didn't put these stackable pipelines too far apart from each other. That's the big reason why I don't use them in the first place, is because it's super easy to just misjudge the distance and have them too far apart. I'm trying to err on the side of having them too close together, because then at least, I mean, it's a little inefficient, but like the type of inefficient of who even cares. Like, I'm not exactly lacking for concrete plates and iron rods. I guess if I had to go all the way back and get more, I'd be a little miffed. But, nah. Yeah, another wildlife. Ah, shit, I died. Yeah, well. That's what I get for messing with the wildlife instead of focusing on my job. In fairness, though, like, I think those specific mobs, the ones that release flying guys, are the most annoying. It's just like it's impossible to target them, or target the flying ones with the rebar gun. Oh fuck! I forgot to get fuel. You know, it's almost back in the beta when you died, you lost everything. You didn't get like here. I've lost my inventory, but I got to keep my blade runners and like everything that was equipped in my hands. But in the beta, you just lost everything. And I feel like that was almost better, because then I wouldn't forget to grab fuel, because I had noticed pretty quickly that I just do not have any jetpack equipped at all. But it is whatever. Whatever. I'll go back there and blow these little flies to kingdom come. With a jetpack and deployable explosives, I am a flying bomber. And I think that's pretty neat. Yeah. Get to see the great wall of conveyor belts over here. And we're off, and away we go. I should get a vehicle. Lots of these long distances to go. At least now I'll get to see like how much further I have to go from the direction, coming from the direction that I going. Oh, there's a whole nother oil well over here. I didn't even know. Well, damn. We're gonna have so much plastic. Okay, I think it was out this way somewhere. God, there's so many dangerous freaking creatures around here. I don't even want to tussle with these. I only wanted to tussle with the one that was blocking my path and protecting a Mercer Sphere. It's gonna be... This is gonna be kind of stupid. Just keep moving, just keep moving. Take off, just keep moving. Come on, flies, come over here. Come on, come on. No? Don't wanna mess with me? I wouldn't either. Did I get him? That almost works, but I think I'm out of explosives now. I got more rebarb though. Okay, I gotta take care of these flies so they don't chew through my health. Maybe it's a little easier to hit them with the rebarb than I thought. Maybe they made their hitboxes larger or something since the beta. Okay, well that one just up and died. Oh, there's a second one over there. Son of a bitch. Come on, die. Oh, fuck. What does it take to kill you? Okay, that's one down. Just run away. Cowardice is the better part of valor. Ha! Killed it. Had to make a running, flying shot with it. I think there's something spitting at me somewhere. I don't know. I think I should be safe to get this Mercer Sphere now. Wait, what is shooting at me? Is it in the rock? Is the creature clipped in the rock? Leave me alone, you stupid bugs. This isn't Helldivers. I don't want to mess with you. Okay. I think the spitter might be in the rock. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is.
You are not the nut effigy.
Correct.
The nut effigy is a temple?
I do not think that is correct, even though I am not entirely certain of your definition of temple.
The nut effigy is not you but sings for you.
The nut effigy is an entirely separate entity from me. We aren't even made of the same base components.
He is a vessel
Am
of
I
intelligent
the
clouds.
effigy?
Probably close enough for now.
God, I wish I understood what they were talking about. If I was listening closer when they got started, I probably would. But I foolishly was not really paying that much attention at the time. I will honestly, I have no real good excuse as for why I wasn't. I just wasn't. Alright, let's pop down stackable there, stackable there. And oh, I can just I just put them right there in the water. That looks fine. That's okay. That's, yeah, that'll probably work out. No problems. Oh. Whoa. 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 I don't know why he pulls up the build menu and he's in the water and I'm just trying to jump out. Look. Another power slug. I think that the amount of power slugs I found accidentally trying to make this pipeline, that I'll have enough to put in this oil extractor over here. Let's take a look-see. And hopefully that spitter over there will fuck off long enough for me to actually do this. Yep, I can get 3 more power shards, and I still have 1 extra left over. That's a good sip of coffee worthy of it. Alright, pop these bad boys in here. Okay, okay. Well, before I really get this guy going, I'm going to go all the way back and start connecting the actual pipeline. Make sure that we're all set there. Ooh, we're going to have 900 more units of crude oil to work through, which seems like it's going to make a ton of plastic, and it might. I think, though, that the oil is a little inefficient in the transformation from crude oil into other substances. We'll see. God, so much flora and fauna. The flora and fauna are important when there's more to sell. Guys, gotta do all this so I can get more products in the awesome shop. This one's missing a support. It's kind of cool seeing all the stacks without the pipes. But it'll be even cooler once I got the pipes. I think one of my favorite things about this game is just seeing the effects I have. And just seeing large conveyor belts stretch across vast empty places. It does something for me. I don't know. It scratches a very satisfying itch. And just having a demonstrable impact on the world. Hope I don't have to put any power on this thing. It seems to be mostly going downhill. They have pipes that stretch this long of a distance, though. You never know. Because, like, I don't know how the game calculates it, really. Like, it goes downhill over there, and if this were real life, like, not only would the oil extractors have their own pumping power, which I'm sure they do, but also just the fact that they sit taller. Oh, I just got an achievement for building 5 kilometers of pipelines. That's pretty cool. But yeah, if the oil extractor is just sitting higher, at a higher elevation than the rest of the pipeline, shouldn't need any pumps pushing things along the rest of the way. Gravity will do the work for me. But in this case, I have to wonder, like, it was going downhill back there, and now it's going slightly uphill. It's one of the reasons why I always build with these pipes that have the indicators that show when they're filling up, so I can see precisely where and when they stop flowing. And all these different elevation changes could make everything a little screwy. It's hard to say. That's why we're gonna find out. I'm also building these pipes much faster than the extractors on the other end can fill them up, so I'm not even going to be able to see if there's a point in which I need to put down a pipe is too long. Put down a pump until I've given it more time to actually fill up the pipes. I don't even remember exactly how I was planning on distributing all this. I remember that I have a ton of compacted coal from my last thing. And I guess I also have just a lot of sulfur and coal as well. I think. Oh yeah, I'm piping black powder out here as well. Well, not piping, conveyor belting. I'm mixing up my terminology. I'm calling the pipe stacks conveyor stacks, and I'm calling the conveyor belts pipes. But yeah, I think I have large amounts of both. So hopefully this much crude oil will be of use. In fact, I might run into an issue where I just have way too much. But that's not a bad problem to have. Well, it's a little more annoying with fluids than it is with stuff. If you have an excess of stuff, like any physical good in this game, you can just leave it, just let it back up and let the machines refine it over time. But if you have an excess of fluid, then things start getting messy. Like, well, it's still not. You get a similar issue with the physical stuff where your machines can't produce or consume anything more until it's moved the fluid out. But fluid also can get put into fluid buffers. You can't really recycle it the way you can recycle physical things, which is the main thing you can do if there's a place where your a place where your physical goods are backing up your production lines. Fluid stuff, though, you gotta be... Oh. I have attracted the attention of my neighbor over there. Well, I'm just gonna keep ignoring him, as I tend to do. Yeah. Whatever. Yeah, I'm sure you get it. Oh, yeah. We got pipes. Did that guy just juke my rebarb shot? Oh, he's got a cool look to him. He's like the water swamp variant or something. I'm not exactly sure what you'd call this biome. It is very, very wet and watery, but it's also got the same sort of desert. Not exactly desert. Like, it's mostly rocks. You don't see a lot of green. It's just a lot of tans. While at the same time very, very wet. There are these trees. Hard to say what this biome is exactly. It's got a little bit of everything. Mushrooms, trees, water. In either case, I like the... Yeah, I thought that was going to happen. I gotta make the distance between these two things shorter. But yeah, that spitter had a design on him. It was it's like seaweed. It had like some bioluminescent bits on there. Kind of made me think of Subnautica a little bit. That'd be another fun game to play. I was really into Subnautica. I really want there to be multiplayer Subnautica. I know there's a mod for that. However, never could get the mod to work for me and my buddies. Also, like, it's modding community is cool and all, However, when you mod a game to be multiplayer, it's not particularly... It doesn't balance the game for multiplayer. What I want is a multiplayer Subnautica. Like, just actually built from the ground up, so that it's balanced and everything. Because that'd be cool, just exploring the ocean. Also, just like Satisfactory in Subnautica. Just combining all the things you get from your base Satisfactory game, but also getting to do it in the deep ocean. That'd be kind of awesome. I mean, I ignore most of the fauna here that tries to kill me because, well, I'm a little more focused on what I'm trying to do here. But I think you could get some cool stuff out of that. There was a game. It was called Lost Planet. Lost Planet 2 and Lost Planet 3 are apparently very different games. I never played Lost Planet 3, but from what I understand of it, you were essentially like a blue collar worker that worked with an exosuit doing dangerous work on some foreign planet. And I feel like this sort of Subnautica Satisfactory combo would fit well with a vibe like that, like a blue collar exosuit. There was a movie Brandon and I watched, Leviathan. They had a thing like that where it was like deep ocean miners, and they had to wear these pressurized suits to work deep under the ocean. And I think it would be neat if there were resources under the ocean that you had to get special suits and equipment to get, and then there's all these dangerous entities in the water, because of course it's it's Subnautica, so that's to be expected to a degree. And then I don't know, it would just be super cool. I think I built an extra pole there, but that was intentional because I wanted to raise these a little bit higher. Guess I didn't really need to do I would need to do a stackable conveyor pole, because if I just did a normal mount, I wouldn't be able to put a stack on top of it. Alright. If there's any evidence at all that I've radically altered Ryan's setup, it's going to be in the fact that I just took his process of... Oh, shit. You know? What I was going to say was that the evidence that I messed with Ryan's stuff was going to be that he had 3 conveyor belts and a pipe to start with, and then I've added 3 more pipes on top of that, making it into like a giant wall of conveyor belts. And I feel like Ryan, if things got to be that ungainly tall, that he would change something about it. But now I'm looking over here, and I still have these conveyor belts of black powder and compacted coal to move. And I could, like, since I haven't gone that far with these pipes, I could tear the pipes down, finish putting the conveyor belts all the way through. But I think what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to take these pipes down, and I'm going to... Whoa, don't want to get rid of the power line. I'm going to make the pipes and the conveyor belts into 2 separate stacks and have them run parallel to each other. I think that would look neater, and I think it's likely something Ryan would probably do. The only real issue is the fact that, depending on how I do this, the stacks are going to have to cross each other at one point or another. But I think I have a solution for that, and it's called letting them clip. But I need to use the restroom, so I am going to sit right here for a minute, and I will be right back. Okie dokie. Here we go. Like, this would be a good opportunity for me to make them not clip, I suppose. But then I'd have to, well, I'd essentially have to make gaps between the, honestly, I think it would look too funny. I think I have to do it. I think, I was saying all this stuff about how I wanted to, like, reduce the visual evidence that I did something to Ryan's factory, but I think it would just be too funny to do something really really fucked up with his stuff to not do this, honestly. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create gaps in these conveyor belts, and I'm gonna thread the pipes through them like an absolute madman. Shit, how was I planning on doing this? Right. He's gonna see this, and he's gonna have some things to say. I can already imagine them. All right, let's get another stackable out. It's gonna be absurdly tall too. It's gonna be uncomfortable to look at. Oh yeah. I'll take that bad boy, and I'll put him there. And that bad boy, put him up there. Oh yeah, it's all coming together. Come over here and God, I'm out of poles. Well, at least I'm over by Ryan's factory. I know he's making poles somewhere. He was complaining about not having basic materials, so I know he's got to be making them. Which one of you boys is doing it? Found you. Bada bing, bada boom. Here we go. I think the coffee's starting to finally affect me. I can feel my energy slowly climbing. My goofometer is rising. Surprised I haven't even seen one bot in here yet. Whoa. My Twitch screen went to a different place. I'm gonna move it back. Okay. Think we can. Honestly, there's no reason like why these ones can't go back to fitting together right here. I just need the gaps. Oh god, I thought I was about to get run over again. Yeah, I only need the gaps where I plan on threading the pipes through. I don't need them all over here as well. So we'll just like that. Alright, I got the gaps. Now I'll create the stackable pipelines. And we'll do a little something like this. And if they don't go through neatly, I will put a foundation down in order to make them go through neatly. Yes. Yes, I think it's going to work. Oh my goodness. This is some madness. This is some real madness, I gotta say. Alright. Oh. Up. Gotta stand on the right thing. Hey, it works. It's oh boy, it's something to look at. But it works. I cannot wait to hear what he has to say about this little thing I've made. This my little abomination. Oh, I hope I didn't just fuck up the truck pathing. Putting these here. Well, trucks are smart. They can figure it out. I think I fucked up the truck pathing. I think out of a courtesy, I'm gonna have to go and unfuck the truck passing. I shouldn't be swearing as much. I just said. But I should go fix the truck pathing as a courtesy. It's only polite. I can't stop looking at it though. It's beautiful in its way. It's got that homemade touch to it. Think though for this little section I'm gonna have to it's a little too close together. I think it'll work this way. If I stack them like this, let's take a look. Pipeline there, and pipeline there, pipeline here, pipeline there. They're raised high enough off the ground you can walk under them. And it follows the general path of his wall. It encroaches just a little bit on the clearance of these big doors, but I think that's okay. I think we're going to be just fine. Bring the supports on over. And there we go. Okay. This here, though, is going to be more difficult. But also something I'll worry about after I do a little bit more work with the conveyor belts. Honestly, I'm kind of proud with how nice it's looking. Like, I'm not generally too concerned with making things look pretty. But aside from that bit of madness I did back there just to mess with Ryan, it is coming together quite neatly and nicely. Okey-doke. I'll put some walls up here, and that'll give me... I'll be able to do a very similar thing with the conveyor belts carrying the black powder and the compacted coal that I did with the... What is this? Oh, it's not even a door. He didn't even put a proper door there. He just didn't put a wall. That's a little unexpected of the Ryan I know, but maybe it makes sense. Maybe he has a greater vision I am thusly unaware of. Could be. Could be. Get this all stacked up. And I'll get the... I'm probably gonna have to figure out how I'm even going to manage the refiners once I get over there. Like, I recall from the last time I was working over there, I was already kind of pushing the limits of how many refiners I can get onto the existing platforms as they were. I could do like what I do with my own factories and just keep expanding out, but I don't think Ryan would make a super long or just wide factory like that. I feel like if he had to keep adding refiners, he'd make it more square, if that makes sense, instead of, and like if it were just me and I was the only one doing work, I would just keep going this direction until I ran out. I would just keep adding foundations and just going out that way until I ran out of space. And then if I ran out of space going that way, I'd start moving out that way and finding space. But I feel like Ryan would be a little more efficient with this space. And I think he would probably like get a similar setup to what he already has here and just repeat it a little further out that way. That's might be what I try to do. I might have to give it an attempt. But first, I gotta get the conveyor belts over there, and then I'm gonna have to make the hard decisions on what math I want to follow. Never done wall conveyor belts before. It's kind of interesting. I don't think that's like the longest I could make them, but I don't want to go much further than what the line tells me it snaps with. I think I'll just use the first ones I put down as a guide. There we go. Oh, why are we going down? I don't like that. That's weird and strange. Alright, let's try this again. Let's keep the level even. What are these lines meant to signify? Because they're not signifying that they're perfectly lined up, because then I can have it above that wall conveyor mount without it lining up. And they're definitely not signaling like distance between mounts, because that would actually be helpful. Hey, get out of there. Messing with my lines. And that's weird. I don't know what those projection lines are projecting. Like, there's definitely like a relationship between those lines and conveyor belt mounts near kind of next to them. But it's not a very good projection line. It's not a very good relationship between the two things. Okie doke, okie doke, 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 okie. Here's where things get a little tricky, because the only conveyor belts that go this way are meant to go under. Okay, okay. Well, This is where math becomes a real pain. Because I can make plastic, could make rubber, and I could make fuel, and then I had polymer resin. What could I make with polymer resin? I don't think there's really anything I can make with polymer resin except for petroleum coke. No? I didn't even use petroleum coke for that? What the heck do I use polymer resin for? Oh. If I wanted to, like, figure out piping water in here, I could do something with that, but there ain't no way I'm doing that. This is already going to be enough of a headache without having to do polymer resin and water piping and all that such. Clean my inventory. It's the downside of deconstructing conveyor belts. You fill your inventory with a lot of garbage. So, if memory serves, his two bad boys over here collectively make 300, and yeah, because these are impure. That's why I don't like to use impure, but I guess you gotta do what you gotta do. But they collectively make 300, which I believe I either mapped out or left improperly mathed over here. So plastic consumes 30 per minute, and rubber consumes 30 per minute. So as long as there's 10 of these bad boys here, we're doing good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep. Okay, so that's mapped out. So that kind of makes things a little easier, because now I can make sure that so long as I'm doing oil, or as long as I'm doing plastic and rubber, I can do 10 refineries every single time for every pipeline I got. So the question then becomes how to distribute the heavy oil residue. Because plastic only produces 10 heavy oil residue, and rubber produces 20 heavy. Oh, that's plastic still. Oop. Yeah, 20 heavy oil residue. So if I'm doing all plastic, that's 100 oil residue, and if I'm doing any rubber, that's an additional 10 for each rubber I'm doing. And the fuel consumes 60. Fuel consumes 60. And black powder consumes 10. Or the smokeless powder consumes 20. Oh boy, I wish I remembered certain math class. I'm almost certain there are existing equations that I could just plug the numbers in for how much compacted coal I'm producing, how much black powder I'm producing, and how much oil or residual oil I can make. But failing that, I have a piece of paper here which will allow me to do this all the super fun and not at all tedious manual way, where I write down, let's see, oh, I'm staring at the sky. Okay, I'm going to write down that I have 3 more pipes with 300, and I have 1 pipe already going 300. So I can be making a grand total of, so every 10, and then there's 40 total. So 10 times 40 would be 400, right? I'm pretty sure it's 400. I swear I'm not that stupid. Yeah, 400. So I can make a minimum 400 plastic and a maximum of 800 oil, or okay, so that's 400 residual oil making plastic, or 800 residual oil making rubber. So I'm just going to essentially write down every interval between them: 410, 420, 430, 440, 450, 460. Yeah, not tedious at all. 80, 90, 500. Okay, I'm not going all the way to 800. That's a little much. I'll just go in intervals of 100. So I'll go 400, 500, 600, 800. Okay, and then I'll come on over here and see what I got to do for this. So throw up a refinery again. So if I'm making residual fuel, so residual fuel consumes 60 per minute, and then smokeless powder, so smokeless powder consumes 10 per minute, and then turbo fuel, I mean, it consumes fuel, so I don't have to worry about that. At least not at this stage. So I really got to make a decision, like how much smokeless powder I want to make. And to be honest, I'm probably making far more black powder than smokeless powder that I want to make. But let's go take a look. It takes 20 black powder for what I want to do. For every smokeless powder, I believe I had something like 10 assemblers making black powder and 12 assemblers making compacted coal. It was something along those lines. I have to try to remember if I see the truck on the way back to hitch a ride and make sure that its pathing isn't completely borked. I really need to get a hyper tube or something between here and there. Until Ryan didn't want to run all the way back to my factory every time he wanted a raw material. No freaking kidding. Honestly, I'm thinking that if I'm making enough compacted coal, that I'll just switch his fuel production. Like, he already has the fuel that's making a pipeline into a thing that packages it and sends it on over to me. I'll probably just swap things out and start filling that pipe with turbo fuel, and just change what comes out the other end, which shouldn't be an issue, because really the only thing that fuel's going to is trucks and whatnot all over the place. Okay, yeah, so I think it's 10 assemblers here. Let me count the mergers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep, 10 and then 12. Okay, so I'm making 10 times 30. So I'm making 300 black powder, and it takes 20 for every 10 heavy residual fuel. So 300 divided by 20, I could have 15 refiners taking in 300 black powder, and 15 times 10 is 150 heavy oil residue. Which, honestly, like 150 heavy oil residue is still far short of the 400 oil residue I would have if everything was making plastic. So that still gives me a lot of heavy oil residue to play with. Now the real question, though, is, well, I have 12 refiners making 25 compacted coal. So 12 times 25. 300 again. It's funny how numbers work. So I can have 300 compacted coal. And then how did that recipe go? It went turbo fuel. So turbo fuel consumes 15. So 300 divided by 15 is 20. Also funny how numbers work. I just had 20, 315 in the last little equation. Just on opposite sides of it. Fucking distributive property or something like that. I'm sure there's a word for it. I was really good in math class, but I do not remember jack after so much time being out of high school. So that's... But then that would also be 20 times... Like, how much was it? It was like 22. It was... Okay, turbo fuel. Yeah, 22.5, a weird number. So if I had 20 refiners consuming all of my compacted coal, and times 22.5 fuel, 450 fuel. So I need 450 fuel. So I need to figure out how much residual oil I need to consume to produce that much fuel. So I produce 40 for every refiner going. So 450 divided by 40. That's not even. So that's at 11.25. So I'm just going to round that down because I don't want backups of fluid, so I'd rather have it underperforming. So, and then it takes 60 residual fuel to have 1 unit or the 1 or 40 fuel going. So if I did 60 times 11, 660. Okay, so that gives me my final numbers. I need 150 for smokeless powder production, and I'll need 660 for turbo fuel. And I think that still falls short of my maximum, which was 800. Yeah, so 660 plus 150. Oh no, it's 10 over. Well, goddamn. And that's kind of fucky too, because then I'm going to not be able to make any plastic, because I need like the 800 number was if everything was making rubber. That is unfortunate. And I really don't want to be pipelining any more oil, at least not in this session. It's like, that's basically the only thing I've done this game. Maybe there'd be more oil over there. I guess if it was that close, it'd be okay. But then I'd still wouldn't have this done come next time. That's tough. Do I put off completing this in order to do it more efficiently and correctly, or do I just take the hit somewhere? And I think I'm just going to take the hit somewhere. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide everything by 2, and I just won't be using the maximum amount of smokeless powder or the maximum amount of black powder and compacted coal. So I'm going to go 150 compacted, 150 smokeless, which, let's see. That takes the 150 heavy residual divided by 2. It's going to be 75. And I've forgotten certain numbers. Going back to smokeless. Smokeless was 20, so 150, 20, 20. Okay, I don't like that number, so we're going to add 10 back in so that it's easily divisible by 20. So we're going to do 160, which comes out to 8. And that should bring us up to 80 heavy oil residue. Okay, so yeah, 160 black powder, 80 heavy oil residue, 8 refiners. And then cut compacted coal in 150. Is 150 nicely divisible by 25? Let's see if I can type the goddamn equation in correctly and find out. 6. It is. So that's going to be 150 going to 6 refiners. That doesn't seem right. No, that wouldn't be right. I just proved it's divisible by 25. But that's not the number I need to worry about. I need to worry about 15. Well, 150 is definitely divisible by 15. I don't even need to put that in. That's just 10. So 10 times, gotta look at my residual fuel, so I'm gonna need, well, that's gonna be 22.5, the amount of fuel I need for turbo fuel, times 10, which is how many refiners I'll go. So that's gonna be 225 fuel. And when using, so 225 fuel that I need divided by the 40 fuel that refining heavy oil residue fuel gives me is 5.6. So, well, I don't want backup, so we're just going to round that down to 5. It's not very pretty, but we're going to go down to 5. So that's going to be 5 refiners consuming 60 heavy oil residue. So what finally comes out is that smokeless powder is going to take 80 oil residue, and turbo fuel is going to take 300 heavy oil residue. So add that together for 380, and god damn it if that's not below my minimum. Well, the one nice thing is that smokeless powder goes up in increments of 10. So I'm sitting at 380. I'll just bring that up to 400 and change the 80 heavy oil residue into 100 and change the 60 into, let's see, it consumes 20, so the 160 becomes 200, and then the 8 refiners becomes 10 refiners. So that's even nicer. I'm doing 10 refiners and 10 refiners. 10 refiners, 10 refiners, okay. And I just gotta make sure that my final heavy oil residue output is 400 with 10 refiners smokeless and 10 refiners turbo fuel. Okay. My math teacher would be upset if she saw the work that I just did on that piece of paper. And also just like I was just staring doing nothing in the game while I did that math. But I'm proud of my math. I mean, it might sound like schizo rambling, but math is math. Oh, I would love to know a cool way to travel the map in a couple seconds. I mean, are you talking about hypertubes and just like spinning yourself in circles and then getting launched? Because I'm aware of that method. I just the cluster obelisk. Let me look. I don't know. I got the Noblest detonator. It's probably in the crafting bench, eh? Crafted bench. Cluster. Explosives? Wait, where do I make the explosives? Was it the equipment workshop? Okay. Black. Nope, I don't think so. I must not have the cluster obelisk yet. I mean, I might be able to. I might be able to get it. I'm working on getting smokeless powder right now, which is where a lot of the explosive researches are coming from. So it might be where it's where I'd have to go to get it. Let's see, sulfur. Cluster no blisk. Yep, I need 100 smokeless. Alright. Whoa. Maybe some other time. I'm down to check out your world. I only got about 30 minutes before I have to get up and go to work though, and I just did a bunch of math, and I want to try to get something done and shown for it before I have to get up and go. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks for joining me. It's been kind of hectic to get this oil and smokeless stuff going. And I'm going to have to tear down a lot of what currently exists. But that's alright. Let's get this going. So I think what I'm going to do is I need to do 40 refineries, all in all, refining crude oil. And then I'm going to have, so I'm just going to line up 40 in this space. Just 4 rows of 10. And then I will pipe all the stuff after I have it set up. And hopefully it will look close enough to the original. So let's take a look-see under here. We'll get rid of these pipes and such. Make sure I leave enough space between each refiner that where's the plastic coming from? Are these under the... Oh, yeah, no, I don't want to get rid of those. Those actually need to be there. Okay. So, refineries. Well, there's the bot I was talking about. I knew that would... Ah, shit. Ha! I'm bad at navigating the Twitch website. That is for sure. And... banned. Okay. That should get rid of that, I hope. Okay. Back to the refineries. I think if I put them about yay far away, then I'll have good enough space. I'm gonna have space on the back and front end, so probably more space the better. I'm gonna need more foundations out this way. So let's zoop that out. And I think after I get my 4 rows of 10, I'll probably put the actual fuel refinery and smokeless refinery maybe over there. Kind of get, I don't know, some symmetry going on. Hard to say. But we'll figure it out. So 2, 3. Oh, I'm just gonna go stand on this side. It's gonna be easier than counting them out. And all right, there's the first 20, and then we'll give it some more space here. That looks like it'll be good enough space. And I'm missing copper sheets. Wow, I grabbed so many copper sheets before I left. I had like, I don't know, 10 stacks of them? Something like that. Crazy amount. Good thing Ryan keeps some good copper sheets here. We'll put these bad boys up. And now I'm missing steel pipes. Well, I'm sure Ryan's doing steel pipes too. I mean, he has refiners. But I don't see any foundries. Yeah, he's got smelters going. Does he not have any Oh. I don't think he has any foundries anywhere. Let's look. No, I don't think he has any steel out here. Well, that sucks. Now I go all the way back to my place just for some steel pipes. I think that's one thing he asked me to send in the mailbox when we got that truck that goes between our two places, and one thing he asks me to send him repeatedly is just more steel pipes. And I suppose that makes sense. It's kind of a pain to make steel without setting up a whole thing for it. But we'll get it going good. Get it good. So well, I'm doing 4 rows of 10, but that really only accounts for making 400, having every single one make plastic. So I'm gonna have to have at least some make rubber. So I think I'll do 3 rows of 10, and then 1 row of 5 making rubber, because I don't usually need that much rubber, all in all. And that will still map out to an even 400 heavy oil residue. And that should be good. I can ride my conveyor belt now. Alright. One of these is doing steel, I'm sure of it. These look like they're going up to steel. Here we go. Back at the old Slapdash factory. Steel pipes, where you at? Oh, there's not a backup of steel pipes. That's kind of surprising. Where are they all going? Probably rotors or something. Not rotors, stators. Yeah. Okay. Just grab them steel pipes right out of there. Okay. Neato. Hopefully that'll be enough for now. My inventory is filled to the brim. A lot of it is not stuff I super need. So I'm going to go jump back on over to the hub, pop some things into the storage crate. At 10 Mercer spheres. That's pretty good. A ton of biomass now. If I wanted it, I got nearly 20 spitter remains and 20 hog remains. If I ever wanted to make some DNA capsules and get some more coupons for the awesome shop, I will have them. Might actually be good. There's still some stuff in the awesome shop that I want. Now stocked in the awesome shop. Drink another big sip of coffee. Sip. Hopefully I can do this with the time that I have left. I don't need to leave at exactly 10 o'clock or start getting ready exactly at 10 o'clock. Just the longer I wait, the more I'm going to have to rush out the door. Really, the thing that's going to take the longest is just piping things. And the next time I get on, Ryan might actually join me. So I want to have this done before he sees what I've done to his factory. Oh, am I going to make it over the water? I think I have enough fuel. Yeah. Man. There's really no other way to travel in this game than with the jetpack. I love me my jetpack. Alright, 3 rows of 10. Now I just need 1 row of 5. And that looks like a good distance. Let's see if I can't get them to line up. And it's lining up with the wrong one. Okay. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And those will all be rubber. Okay, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up the other refiners as well for the intent of remembering the math that I did. If I put up the refiners now and I set all their recipes and just assume that I did it all correctly when I get on next time, I won't have to double check all my math again with any luck. I'm going to run out of iron plates. But I also have foundations over here that I'm not going to need. I'm just going to take these bad boys out. Whoa, whoa, okay. And there's 10. There's another 10. And I'm still going to need more plates. So we'll come on over here and grab them out of the constructors. So I know that I'm going to need 10 refiners making smokeless and 10 refiners making turbo fuel. But I don't think I have written down on my piece of paper over here how many I'm going to need making the fuel to make the turbo fuel. That is a good question. I think, well, I mean the 400 number is in reference to how much fuel I need to make. Right, no, I need to make 20. Math, numbers, show work, how do. Shit. I was going to do 150 turbo fuel, and that's 225 fuel. 225 divided by 40, which is 5. Okay, so it was 5. I do have it written down. I just don't like have it labeled or marked or anything like that. Okay, so we're going to do, I'm going to put down 5. Oh, maybe a little too close to the edge. Do 5 refineries. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And these are going to be my residual fuel refineries. And then I'm going to have 10 each making. I'm going to need more concrete and plates if I'm going to keep slapping down foundations like this. Burp, burp, burp. I have useless things in my inventory. I mean, nothing I'm willing to throw out. Well, I can throw out the screws. Screws are a weird material. You don't really need them until you do, and then you need absurd amounts of them. I'm going to have to stop grabbing out of the constructors and actually figure out where these plates go if I keep using them all up like this. Let's see. Alright. And we go on over. We'll go on over. Okay. Refinery time. So those ones are going to be making fuel. And these ones, I'm going to need more. Oh no, I'm out of steel pipes again. Oh, good lord. Guess that's what happens when you make refineries. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do something a little smarter. And I'm going to put on here 20, not 120, 20 refineries. So I can grab everything I need this time instead of having to make another trip. Oh boy, oh boy. I'm gonna have to do something about this. Well, I mean, I guess after I make these refiners, I won't need to make any more after. At least, not for this particular project. And I'm going to have to figure out what my next project's going to be. I mean, this whole time I've had that one last phase 3 thing going very slowly because it's not very well optimized. My manufacturers that are producing that thing one at a time is the epitome of inefficient. But it does have the benefit of working constantly in the background while I do a project like this turbo fuel and smokeless powder stuff. And so there is, at the very least, that. Go up here, grab my steel pipes. Alright, these are my stators. Nope, these are my automated wires. I need to find out if there's anywhere else I'm sending steel pipes, because it ain't going to be enough. Doesn't one of my manufacturers use steel pipes? Let's take a look. Let's take a look-see. Well, it's not in this one. I think it was the heavy modular room. Yeah, it was. But it doesn't have very many steel pipes either. I think we're just going to turn it off since I don't really need any more. Well, I got a dimensional depot that's fuel. That's fuel. And I got a good amount. Like, heavy modular frames are used in a lot, but I'm not building train stations yet, so I don't need them that bad. You know what? I know where I can find some steel pipes. And I think I'm going to make a special trip all the way out there. I'm going to bring my Mercer spheres. Oh, I'm out of space in my inventory. I'm going to make these slugs into power core shards real quick. Open up a slot. I'll bring my Mercer spheres. And that should let me make a dimensional depot. Okay, yeah. Okay, I'm just going to make a special trip out to the old drunk factory. Way out yonder in the wild on blue. And we go. I should have found a conveyor belt to launch myself off of. I'm reduced to doing this slide jump between the plastic area in the main factories, but I shouldn't be reduced to this when I'm traveling between my two slapped together factories. I'm better than that. I'm worth more. Okay, I'm just gonna build a little conveyor belt to launch myself that direction, because I'm not walking. There we go. This is how you travel. Look, there's all those pipes I was talking about. I've got jack for inventory space though. So I'm just gonna put the dimensional depot down here. Get a little splitter up. Oh. What are you trying to do there? Kinda like Mobius strip that conveyor belt. Organization. There we go. Very nice. Very nice indeedy. Now, how do I clear up my inventory? What do I not really need, but is not too precious to get rid of? I don't really go through modular frames that fast, and I got them uploading to the cloud. I guess I don't need a high-speed splitter either, since those are uploading to the cloud. Okay. I think if I just fill up on beams, yeah. And then I have all the motors I need too. Okay. Now I just gotta go all the way back to plastic production, and this is what a hypertube would be useful for. Just to launch myself out there. I think if I finish this up and my space elevator stuff isn't complete yet, then I think building some hypertube cannons to launch me across the map is going to be the next project on the list. Because this is getting a little ridiculous. Suppose I could if I really wanted. You know what? I was going to suggest something stupid. But not only... Well, it might be... well, not only would it be slower than a hypertube cannon, it would also take a lot more work to construct than a hypertube cannon. So I'm just going to keep that to myself. Heading back over yonder. Going to go make some turbo fuel. My time is running short, but I really want turbo fuel. I'm not gonna have time to pipe it all. I already know that. The amount of effort it takes to construct nice looking pipes and conveyor belts, it's gonna take too long. That's gonna be unfortunate. I guess I'll have something to look forward to for the next time, I guess. Still, though, sad day, sad day. Flora and the fauna unimportant when there's more to sell. Heck, even our chainsaw fuel is ground up alien tortoise shell. There's no need to focus on our one-sided war of the worlds. Ripping up the rosebloods as we're plundering these awesome wells. And we are here. Okay. Finally, it is refinery time. I think I can get I don't really need all that much clearance for them, so I think I can get it at least that close. And 2, 3, 4, 5. Some more foundations. Refineries. 6, 7, 8, 9. And 10. Perfect, perfect. Put down another little foundation over here. Little foundation. Yes, yes, yes. Whoa, whoa, oh, hey. Okay. Very nice, very nice. Okay, and we'll line these up even though they don't really route to each other. And there we go. We got 10. So now I'm just going to have to go through and set all the recipes for these bad boys up properly. And then I suppose the next time I'm on, I'll... Oh, not residual plastic. Not residual plastic. And the next time I'm on, I'll have to... Well, I'll have to finish piping and conveyor belting all these, and then I'm going to have to deal with the fact that I'm going to be making so much plastic and so much fuel. Honestly, I was talking about making hypertube cannons the next big project, but honestly, like getting this oil set up and all these refinery piped is only the first part. Now I got to figure out how I'm going to move. Let's see, I got 30 things making 20 plastic per minute, so how I'm going to move 600 units of plastic. Not that it's not needed. Like a lot, I mean, circuit boards, computers, this plastic is used in ridiculous amounts of things. So I'm definitely going to need 600 plastic eventually. And I might even need more rubber than the, let's see, 5 times 20. So I'm going to need more rubber than the, what's that, 400? Is that math? That's 5 minus 40, not 5 times 20. I don't even know how. Oh my god. Can't type in the correct things. That's 100, 400. What am I thinking? I swear to God I can math. Yeah, I'm going to need more rubber than that eventually, probably. I haven't actually done much work beyond phase 3 before, but I know in like turbo motors and things that you require rubber for like gaskets and whatnot, I assume. Okay, residual fuel. Residual fuel. Get that all put in there. Yes, I know. I've played for 2 hours. You don't have to tell me. I know what I've played. Okay. And then we're going to do 10 smokeless. I'm going to be able to do so much research, too, once this gets going. Actually, man, I should make these turbo fuel because they're closer to the fuel. Oh, I'm going in the water. Whoa, don't go down there. Okay. Turbo fuel. Yep. Make these all turbo fuel. Okay, I'm just going to start copy pasting because going in and out of these menus is a little annoying. Whoa. Come on. There we go. Alright, there's turbo fuel, and then these will be smokeless. There we go. Smoke, smoke, smoke. Smoke, smoke, smoke. Yeah, so the only inefficiency here, I'm going to be using up all the heavy residual oil I make, but I'm not going to be using up my black powder and compacted coal as fast as I make it. But that kind of backup is totally okay. A backup of heavy oil residue would be worse. And I might even have a problem there, but hopefully not. I'll put down some fluid buffers just in case. Oh, goodness gracious. Well, it's getting that time. I really wish I could finish doing my conveyor belts and such, but I guess I'll just have to save it for next time. Maybe Ryan will join me and see what I've done to the place. Maybe he won't. And that's that. Well, I guess I'll see you all next time.